What's good, YouTube? Now, the question of the day is, how do I find my true self? So we're going to start getting into stuff in this video about what are our true feelings? How do we know if that's something that we really want to do versus something that somebody else told us that we should be doing? I was first posed with this question when I was in high school, when a teacher asked me, "Hey, Ronald, well, what do you want to do when you go to college?" And I was like, I genuinely wasn't sure. No one had really asked me that prior. I had been to colleges for visits. I did a lot of things in that nature, but no one had ever really asked me, like, what did I want to do? What did I want to be? What type of person was I? I started to realize that like my teachers and like peers were assigning me traits that didn't even necessarily resonate with myself. Like I've always been a person that I thought was funny or had a humorous side. But like a lot of my former friends, or maybe middle school or younger, and even early in my high school, just thought I was just goofy all the time. Like I never could be serious. When like that wasn't true. Like then I started to realize if you let people define you, then you start to live in their truth of you. You start to see yourself how they see you. And that's when you kind of lose yourself. So my teacher asked me that question, what do you want to be in this world, Ronald? Like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. Like, I love sports. But then she was like, well, I mean, I wasn't good enough I was on the varsity basketball team, but I wasn't going to play Division One basketball, so I can't play. And if I can't play, most likely I can't coach. She's like, what the heck are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know, but I want to do something in sports. And she like basically was like, I think you should try something else. I talked to my grandmother about it. She said, no, I believe in you. And that was another moment where I realized like, well, it's important for somebody to have someone out there that can believe in you and inspire you. So I didn't have necessarily an idol at that time in the sports world, but I knew I wanted to do something in sports. I went to college. I became a sport administration major. Through that, at Radford University, by the way, through that, I found communications. And I said, wait a minute. I love Stephen A. Smith. I love Shannon Sharp. I love Skip Bayless, Nick Wright. But how do I get there? Like that, like, it's like I thought it was like becoming an actor. Like, I can't be Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, yeah, you can work hard for it, but that's Hollywood. Like, it's not even really it's not, like, it's a very difficult thing to obtain. But then I thought to myself, like, if you don't strive for your dream, if you don't strive for greatness, then you settle for what people thought of you. Like my teacher back then told me, like, why would you do sports? Like you're not gonna be able to make it to a stage of an athlete. When that wasn't true, I can make it to that stage and I can even transcend past that. So our first lesson of the day is don't let other people define you. You define you. You know what makes you you. And by knowing you better than anybody else, use that to your advantage to be great. Okay, let's talk about this. Motivation. We all have those moments when we wake up, we don't feel like doing a damn thing. But we all kind of push through and we get through the day, but we didn't really put our best foot forward. And when you do that, it's okay. I know we all know that ball metaphor, that one lazy day becomes two lazy days. Two lazy days becomes a week of lazy days. A week of lazy days becomes 3 months of lazy days. And next thing you know, you're just an average normal person. And my question to you all, do you want to be normal? Do you want to just be regular? Because that's one thing that I struggle with. Because when you tell people, like, somebody's like, oh, hey, Ron, like what are you doing today? Like, oh, okay, I have work from this time to this time. Then I'm vlogging maybe some of the day for my YouTube. Then maybe I'm doing social media content. Then I'm going to the gym, making sure I'm getting my water intake. I make sure I'm getting my protein in. I'm taking my supplements. And it's like, wait, well, that's a lot. Like, you're doing a lot today. And then you realize, like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot, but like I signed up for it. And I'm doing this because I want to be my best self. So it goes back to when we talk about motivation. I don't want to necessarily do a lot every single day, but I know that all the different things that I'm doing are getting me closer and closer and closer to the person that I dream that I can be. And I'm not saying that you should do these things as a detriment to your health. Like I'm not saying like do these things, so you become depressed. Those type of things. Of course, I'm not pushing that upon you all. What I'm saying is doing these things that might not always feel great, but make you happy because it's getting you closer to the dream that you all can see. Drop in the comments, what is your goal? What is your dream? Because to obtain a dream, to obtain a goal high, it is not easy. Let's think about this. So when I first got into the sports journalist world, everyone was telling me like, hey, man, journalists don't make any money, bro. If you're doing that, you're just doing that for fun. And I looked at on TV, I looked up how much does Stephen A. Smith make? Stephen A. Smith is about to maybe sign a $20 million contract at ESPN. And I'm not saying that I'm Stephen A. Smith, But what I am saying is that I have a goal to be like a Stephen A. Smith. And to obtain something like that, you have to know the work that that person put in. See, me, I read Stephen A. Smith's book, and Stephen A. Smith has been grinding since he was a kid. Not only he came from a broken home that had a lot of problems, but he went to college. He faced a big injury. Then he worked his butt off. Like he went to the local newspaper. He interned. He covered high school sports like I do now. Then he covered college, the pros. He was one of the first black columnists. He grinded to get to that point. It wasn't easy. He had to transcend. He had to overachieve to get to the point he's at. So it's not that journalists can't make money. It goes back to the point of, are you willing to do more? And that's our second lesson of the day. To achieve your dream, you don't need to always be motivated. But what you do need to do is to know that you have to do more to be excellent. If you want to do less, it's okay. You can be normal. You can even be good, but you can never be excellent. And if you want to obtain excellence, you must work harder than everyone else. I always tell my friends this. I say, what does special mean to you all? You all can drop in the comments too before I answer this. What does special mean to you all? I tell them, when you look up special, it's an anomaly. It's a person that has uniqueness. And you realize if you're unique, or you have a trait, or you do things that very few people do, then you're special. And if you're doing what everyone else is doing, then it's not special. You're just normal. So again, you have to ask yourself, do I want to be normal and do what everybody else wants to do? Or do I want to transcend and be special? Because to be special, to transcend is how you're going to reach your dreams. And I know if you're watching this video, you're a very motivated person, but you just need the extra kick maybe. You just need that next thing to get to where you want to get. For our third lesson, don't let your flaws actually break you. Now, what do you mean by that? We all have flaws. Of course we do. And if you didn't have flaws, again, why would you be watching this video? The question is, are your flaws something that can actually make you money? Are your quote unquote flaws something that you can make a strength maybe to other people? Let's think about it like this. There are some flaws in this world that you can monetize. Some flaws, quote unquote, that people say that you have, you can actually do good things with in this world. Let's talk about some of mine, at least I was characterized with growing up. So again, people always tell me, you talk too much. You need to be quiet. You need to listen. And of course, listening is a flaw and everyone needs to listen to people. But the talking part, let's think about this. So currently, again, we all know I'm a sports reporter. Every single day, which is my job, I get to talk to people. Like I ask people questions, people talk back to me. I do podcasts. I have to do social media for my job. All things that revolve around talking. And it all goes back to my love for wanting to talk, for me wanting my opinion to be shared. But if I let people silence me, from old teachers to old friends to haters to old girlfriends, then I wouldn't be where I am today. And I wouldn't even be here making this video for you. Because if I was scared to talk in front of a camera, would I be here? No, I would not. Because I would have never recorded this video in the first place. So now we're going to try to monetize this. I get paid to be a sports reporter. We all know on Instagram, I'm almost at 7,000 followers on my IG, which is like over 4,000 in the last 90 days, all from me sharing my opinion and talking. So this just shows you like what somebody else considers your flaw could actually be your moneymaker. So that's our third lesson of the day is look at the flaws that people say that you have and see, hey, is this actually a flaw or can I actually really make money from this? So that's what we're going to do, everybody. We're going to start turning our flaws into our strength. And I even got this book, right? So this is a book I got. So this is a book I got right here. This is called a gratitude journal. I don't necessarily use it just for gratitude, but I just use it a lot for just like writing down some of my goals, some of my aspirations, and even just stuff that's on my mental. Because, sometimes you just need to write down your feelings, right? And so in here, I write down all the things that sometimes I want to say out loud, even that I can't, or that maybe I'm too afraid to in the moment. Maybe I'm not comfortable with yet. And this helps me get my thoughts right. Like I already have manifested this video in this book. I wrote down some topics that interested me that I wanted to talk about that you're hearing now. So throughout all this book has genuinely helped me. In this book, I'm essentially talking through my pen. It's something that isn't out loud yet, but maybe one day when I feel comfortable will be. So if you're one of these people that's also looking to be more comfortable speaking, wanting to live in your truth, wants to make one of your flaws maybe a strength, or maybe an insecurity for yourself a strength, I recommend, if you don't want to say it out loud, get yourself a gratitude journal or just some type of journal, because you need somewhere to put your thoughts if you're not comfortable telling somebody else. Now, this is one of many videos like this. If you like this type of videos, again, drop in the comments more topics you want me to talk about. Today we did 3 lessons. So if you guys sit in and drop at least one of the 3 lessons in the comments, again, drop other topics that you all want me to talk about. We're going to be doing this a lot more. This is one of many. I really enjoy doing this. Peace.